Hey everybody, Matt DeBerry, DawgPost.com. It is a beautiful day here in Sanford Stadium. The Georgia Bulldogs won senior day comfortably against Charlotte. Final score 35-3. Again, it was a beautiful day, and the Dogs got it rolling offensively on the ground. They had 5 total touchdowns on the ground in this game. Bo Walker, the freshman, had 3 rushing scores. Nate Frazier with 2. The defense was outstanding. We're going to break it all down, but I think, coming into this day, the only thing you didn't want to see really was someone get injured, right? This is a game where you honor the seniors. You play a cupcake. You're going to blow them out. Everyone knows it, and they played really basic vanilla offense. They didn't show much of anything. They relied on their strength, their size, and their overall talent to win comfortably. A lot of people may be upset they didn't score 40 points or anything like that, but they were up 28-3 at the half. This game was over from the very beginning. Completely dominant defensively. We're going to talk more about that in just a second, but I want to talk about the offense. They were they weren't perfect, but they didn't want to try to do much of anything. They knew that they could just win this game steady, on the ground, keep that clock running, own the time of possession, dominate the trenches, and that's exactly what they did. They had over 449 total yards compared to Charlotte, who could not do anything offensively. They only had 169 total yards, just 17 rushing attempts, 39 yards. They couldn't do anything through the air, only 130 yards. And a lot of that came on Georgia's second and third string defenders, who played a lot in the second half. So overall, really nice day. And again, they didn't cover. They only won the game by 32. This is a bad Charlotte team, but Georgia was 5 for 5 in the red zone. Their first offensive possession was a little funky. They got a quick first down to Cash Jones, and then they went backwards on a Dylan Bell play behind the line of scrimmage. They ended up having to punt, but after that, they scored 4 straight touchdowns, each one of them on the ground. Again, they're up 28-3, and then they absolutely roll in the second half. They only score one more touchdown, but they didn't really try. They wanted this game over. We had the running clock at the end. At the end of the day, this team showed that they can win a championship, and that's what this is all about. You got a lot of young players, good experience. Ryan Puglisi came in midway through the third quarter. He was fine. He could still improve his accuracy and, learn how fast he has to play. So the numbers weren't jaw-dropping. Let's see. He was 7 of 11 for 49 yards and missed, C.J. Wiley. I think on the first drive that he was in there, probably should have been a first down if the ball was a little more accurate, but the ball zips out of his hands. I'll tell you that right now. When he throws it, the ball is flying out of there. Still has to clean some things up, but he does look the part, and the ball really zips. So it's easy to see the natural arm talent. Wish he could have thrown it for more than 11 times, but it is what it is. Even when he was in there, they wanted to run the football. We did not see Chauncey Bones today. Nate Frazier carried the ball 12 times for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bo Walker, 9 carries, 48 yards and 3 touchdowns. Talk about a breakout game, if you want to call it. 3 scores is a big deal. The freshman having a big day on senior day. Dwight Phillips Jr. had 7 carries for 45 yards. Roderick Robinson had some nice runs. He had 4 carries for 25 yards. Gunnar Stockton rushed it 5 times for 11 yards and had one really nice first down that he picked up with his leg. So 192 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. They averaged 4.6. Gunnar Stockton ended the day 17 for 21, 196 yards. He did have an interception, no touchdowns. It was at the end of the first half. They've got a 3rd and 13. He just drops back and just puts the ball into danger, just tries to fit a ball in there down the field to pick up that first down, try to get some momentum going to get a score right before the half, but threw it into coverage. He got picked off. The 49ers would turn that into a field goal. Those would be the only 3 points of the game. But overall, 17 for 21, 196, 0 touchdowns, and that 1 interception. So 1 blemish on what was a pretty strong day. And then Puglisi, 49 yards. Ryan Montgomery got in there and completed a 12-yard pass. There's a lot going on around me, so I hope you can hear me well still, but 15 players caught passes in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to do that. That's bad podcasting. I knew at one point it was 14, and it looks like at least one more guy ended up catching a pass. So they distributed the ball really well. Noah Thomas, the senior, had 4 catches for 68 yards. Some really nice kind of crafty yards after the catch. He is a problem, and I think he has come in and played that Colby Young role really, really well. He's a guy who's going to see more passes come his way, probably against Tech and throughout the rest of the season. I mean, he is a weapon. So is Zachariah Branch. He caught 4 passes for 55 yards. C.J. Wiley caught 3 for 20. Lawson Lucky caught 2 for 33. Bo Walker had a couple catches. And then a lot of guys, like 8, 9 guys had 1 catch. I thought Jaden Riddell played well defensively. Elijah Griffin had a big sack. The freshman defensive lineman from Savannah was really good. Chris Cole had a big sack, a linebacker. He continues to flash. Ellis Robinson had a big first-half interception. Just a tremendous play, showing his athleticism and the ability to snatch the football out of the air. DeMello Jones had a nice play. Ja'Cory Thomas had a big hit. They played a lot of guys. Josh Horton is a defensive lineman who I think always plays at a high level. He's a max effort guy. I thought he made some plays. Raylan Wilson led the team with 5 tackles. Justin Williams had 5 tackles. KJ Bolden had 4. So a lot of guys played, a lot of guys flashed, but at the end of the day, you know, this game doesn't really matter this second moving forward. They can still clean some things up, and but it's all on, you know, they're focused on Georgia Tech right now. So cupcake season, again, it is over. This game doesn't matter, but they still showed, even against this Charlotte team, that they are good enough to win the national championship. Not sure if they're going to, but you can't tell me they're not the best team. We don't know who that is. It could be Georgia. It could be Ohio State. But today, you saw them just swarm defensively. They've got so much talent on defense. And for the 3rd straight game, that group played really, really well. They're flying to the football. And it was guys at every level, defensive line, linebacker, defensive back. All 3 levels of the defense, you had different guys making plays. Rashawn Dinkins was a freshman cornerback that was making plays out there. Daniel Harris, who's now become a reserve cornerback, he was in there making some big hits. KJ Bolden is all over the place. I mean, it's way too early to be doing maintenance. They've got seniors on the field. Players are still on the field. They're making so much noise. It's crazy. But solid day. It's senior day. It was beautiful out. And now it's just, now you're moving on. And with Thanksgiving coming up, you know, the players need to get into the mindset because they've got a Georgia Tech team that they've got to play in less than a week that's coming after them. This is their Super Bowl. And I think this was a game where Georgia was able to, you know, get those starters out somewhat early. We didn't see Chauncey Bowens. It looks like he'll be back. We didn't see C.J. Allen. Looks like he'll be back or should be back for the Georgia Tech game. Kyron Jones, the safety, might try to see him back. Talon Taylor, I thought, would get in this game. He didn't look like he had any limitations on him during pregame. He was going through, looked good during pregame warmups, thought he'd get out there. But it was Thomas Blackshear, a freshman, who caught a nice pass. C.J. Wiley and Landon Roldan also hauled in another one. But this was about keeping it simple, keeping it easy, keeping the ball on the ground, running this game out. This is one of the shortest games I think I've ever covered here. But this team can win it all. And again, 35-3. It wasn't the most exciting game. The numbers aren't jaw-dropping. They're not going to blow anyone away. But this is a solid, dominant performance led by the defense and the rushing game. But Gunnar Stockton also made some nice throws. He made a couple plays with his legs. But we got to see the future. We got to see a lot of the young defensive linemen. Nasir Johnson was out there making plays. I said, Elijah Griffin earlier. J.J. Hand was out there. So Darren Akanagban was out there at outside linebacker. So it's a good day for that type of stuff, but I know Kirby's going to have their attention moving forward. They're not it's hard to say they're not an elite team because they're playing better and better, and if you're a top 4 team in college football, you are elite. I think they are quickly becoming elite on the defensive side of the football. Offensively, they still are. They weren't perfect today. I think Brett Thorson punted 4 times, 3 times. He actually had a really nice day punting the football. 2 of those punts, I think, came in the second half. But they wanted to run this clock out, get this game over with. That's exactly what they did. End of the day, a very comfortable, drama-free, stress-free 35-3 win. The regular season at home is complete, and they've got a big one against the Jackets in Atlanta on Black Friday. Thanks for watching. Hope you appreciate it. Solid win over a bad Charlotte team, but this team can still win it all, and they showed that today. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I'll see you over on dawgpost.com.